everyone. So great to see all of you on this beautiful Sunday morning here in Cleveland Heights. And we're very excited to be here. As Vaughn said, we are the Community Development Corporation for Cleveland Heights and University Heights. We've been around since 2002, but it's only in the last few years that we have taken on the work of a comprehensive community development corporation. Cleveland Heights is a very diverse community. We have a lot of small businesses in our community. We have 11 small business districts scattered throughout our city. And we know that we have a lot of entrepreneurs here in our city and in our region. And so we're very excited to be co-hosting this event this morning. I wanted to start out by giving you a little bit of an introduction about Future Heights, and we have a new video that we have put out. And April, I'm not sure if you want me to share my screen or if you'd like to share yours, but we can go ahead and cue that video.
You can share your screen, Deanna.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, just taking me a moment here to get everything started. Okay, so as I said, I'd like to start off by just showing you our new video. This is a shortened version of it. There's a longer version on our YouTube channel, but let me share this with you this morning.
I would say that Future Heights is the connector for residents and resources and organizations, agencies in Cleveland Heights.
The program that I really admire at Future Heights is the Best of the Heights contest. I think it really gives a way for businesses to highlight what they do, interact with the community, and also get some feedback from the community.
We're doing work such as redeveloping distressed homes, and not just to fix the outside of a home, but to make it so that it's livable.
I was able to get a Future Heights grant. My grant was for a play yard so that the kids from both the synagogue and the community can play there together.
The Heights Observer is the mouthpiece for the community. And so it's a place for dialogue, it's a place for diverse views to come out. This is an important place to get information about what's happening. Cleveland Heights has many artists and musicians which make wonderful community.
It's Music Hop that we have every year in the fall. It's a great way to get residents and the light together to all of it on the street.
Okay, and that was a little bit about Future Heights and some of the programs that we have. And some of the things that were mentioned in the video are, for example, our Best of the Heights Awards. This is a program that we've been doing for several years now. In January, we start the voting. We ask our residents to vote for their favorite businesses in various categories, and then we recognize the business winners about 6 weeks later after the voting has completed. So we've had many different categories over the years, and our business owners very proudly showcase their award certificates. And this is a great way to promote your business in Cleveland Heights and University Heights. We also mentioned the Heights Observer. That's our community newspaper that we founded in 2008. And it has more than 8,000 subscribers, people who pick it up throughout the community. It is a free monthly publication. We've had some challenges during COVID as many businesses have been closed, but we have partnered with people who own the little free libraries throughout the city and have them there as well as in many of our businesses. We also have a free weekly e-newsletter that comes out every Tuesday. And there are advertising opportunities in both of these publications at very reasonable rates because we are a nonprofit. We exist to serve the community. Also mentioned was our Future Homes program. We are renovating houses in the center of the city of Cleveland Heights, as well as in the northern part of our city, bringing houses that are vacant and abandoned back to productive use with new homeowners moving into the neighborhoods. And we're very interested in talking with folks who are contractors and have those types of businesses. And we also put on a number of public forums and workshops, one of which is the one that we're doing today. And you can see that there's a variety of topics, but you can also see that we have some that are specifically for our small business owners. And one thing I wanted to make you aware of today is that when we find out about opportunities for our local businesses, we try to pass those on. And we learned about an opportunity through Citizens Bank that is available this week. The deadline is this Friday for a small grant. So if you are a minority-owned business, this might be something that you should look into. And next, I'd like to introduce Brian Anderson, who is our Business Development Manager at the City of Cleveland Heights. And he's going to tell you a little bit more about some of the programs we have in Cleveland Heights. Brian?
All right, I needed to unmute myself. I'm going to just cover a few things here, very briefly. I'm going to try to share my screen. And again, my name is Brian Anderson, and I work in the city's Economic Development Department. So just wanted to take a moment to make everyone aware of some of the tools that the city has if you are considering Cleveland Heights for your business, either currently or in the future. We really do have a variety of tools available. And I guess I would just start off by saying, certainly, the Urban League and a variety of other providers here in the region do a great job offering technical assistance as far as business plans and other guidance that I think is hugely important for any business that is, starting out and looking at, launching a new product or starting a new business, and definitely take advantage of those opportunities. Having a strong business plan and financial sort of package to take to lenders and potential, property owners that you want to negotiate with is going to be important. And, I think that's really the first step. And once you kind of have that plan in place, you sort of move on to sort of the next step of finding, space if you need it, and then kind of figuring out the financial piece. And the city of Cleveland Heights, and I know other cities do as well, have some different tools available to help fill some of those gaps, especially for, small businesses that are starting out. And, we have a variety of programs that are listed there on your screen. I'm just going to run through them very briefly. We don't need to go into a lot of depth on each of these. I think ultimately, once you have a plan and a business you're looking to move forward with, I would say reach out to the economic development entities and wherever you're looking, whether it is a city like Cleveland Heights, there's Future Heights here in Cleveland Heights as well, our CDC partner. If you're looking at other locations, likewise, they'll have economic development departments and CDCs in different Cleveland neighborhoods. Those are all great resources for you to provide you some guidance to resources. So some of the highlights here, we have several different loan funds that we offer. They fill different roles, but ultimately they are all designed to be low interest, very favorable term loans. We will underwrite these a little bit differently than a bank will. Obviously, we still want to see some, certain levels of credit worthiness, and depending on the size of the loan, some collateral. But it'll be a little bit different than what a bank may look for. And certainly, if you do also have bank financing, we'll take a second position behind the bank, so there isn't any issue with that. Just a couple of quick notes. Our commercial loan fund is what we traditionally call gap financing. It's where you have a certain portion of your financing through a bank or other private entity, and the city fills that remaining gap. An example of a project here in Cleveland Heights is Boss Dog Brewery. We helped finance their brewing equipment. Again, they had a fair amount of equity and some SBA financing, and we helped fill the remaining portion of that. The storefront program is a great program. This applies mostly to commercial property owners. So if you are in a position where you own or are looking to own a commercial property in Cleveland Heights, certainly worth having a discussion. If you're going in purely as a tenant, this is something that you can have a conversation with your property owner about, but we would need participation from the storefront program, which has both a rebate grant portion and a 0% interest loan portion to it as well. Relatively new program for us in the last couple of years has been our SBA Small Business Grant. There's a couple other communities in Greater Cleveland that offer this as well, where in conjunction with an SBA loan through a SBA lender, whether it's a bank or other community financial institution, we would provide a 15% grant to go along with the loan and owner equity. The idea being here, our grant serves as an equity infusion, so it's easier for you to qualify for better terms on an SBA loan. Blank Canvas CLE and Art Gallery there on Lee Road is one of the businesses that we've worked with that was able to utilize this program. Our Economic Development Loan Fund, again, is kind of similar to our Commercial Loan Fund. It's a little bit more flexible in terms of some of our terms. Again, depending on your business and your project, we'll work with you to kind of determine what fund as far as suitability might be for your project. And then we also have our Micro Enterprise Loan Program. This is very much designed for small business startups, whether existing, needing some additional capital, or new startups, like I said. As a micro enterprise program, this is for businesses with 5 employees or less, one of whom is the owner. This is loans up to $10,000, and as opposed to some of our others, it doesn't require other bank participation. It is, very much kind of a first source of financing, and the idea being this is really helping you get up and running, that initial source of financing, and then eventually leading down the road for you to be able to qualify for more traditional bank financing as your business matures. One of the requirements here for this program and for some of our other programs is a business plan review. So again, having a good business plan in place and working with somebody on a strong business plan will be important just for your business in general, but also in terms of accessing financing, whether it is traditional bank financing or working with a Cleveland Heights or other entity for financing as well. Again, if you have a business and you're interested in Cleveland Heights, please reach out to me. You have my contact information there on the screen. Besides the tools that we just talked about, we also offer some guidance as far as finding spaces that might be suitable for your business, providing you some guidance as far as working with our building department and inspectors to make sure your space is up to code, and be aware of what types of improvements you might be required for your business to go into a new space. One other, I guess parting, word of advice is, when you're looking at space in the future, don't sign a lease, until you've sort of vetted through the building department what sorts of upgrades, you really think through before committing. And I've seen a variety of small businesses over the years that will sign a lease for a space and then find out that it's either not permitted via zoning, or they have $50,000 of building code upgrades they're required to do. So, it really is in your best interest to reach out to the city of wherever you're contemplating a location to talk about zoning and building code type of issues as well. And then that's just kind of part of the general discussion. And then also, if there's a role for us to play as far as helping you on the financial side, that is a conversation we'd love to have as well. So, and also on the Cleveland Heights website, if you are interested in space in Cleveland Heights, you'll also see a tool where you can see some available properties as far as some storefronts and other commercial spaces that might be available. So otherwise, I am certainly here and available for anybody interested in doing business in Cleveland Heights or have any questions in the future.
Great. Thank you very much, Brian. There are a lot of great resources available here in Cleveland Heights. And to move things along, though, I'd like to introduce our two panelists that we have today. First, we have Calvin Singleton, who has lived in Cleveland Heights for many years and owned his business here, Calvin Singleton and Associates, an architectural firm located in the Cedar Taylor Business District. And Calvin is also on the board of Future Heights. And then Sarah Bartlett, who is the owner of Mod Network. She is a University Heights resident and has her business in University Heights as well. So what we'd like to do next is have our two panelists tell us a little bit about their businesses. And Vaughn, I know you're going to help facilitate this conversation as well. So Vaughn, perhaps you can start us off.
Okay, let me grab my information. Richard, are you prepared for that? You have yours in front of you?
Yes, I do, Vaughn.
I was gonna chime Richard in on this too, Deanna, if that's okay. Richard, go right ahead.
Okay, again, yeah, my name is Richard Brown. I'm a business advisor with the Minority Business Assistance Center, and I'm also a resident of Cleveland Heights for over 25 years. I had two daughters who went through the whole school system, Oxford Elementary School, Monticello Middle School, and graduated from Cleveland Heights. And I do have a relationship with Mr. Singleton. He's done some work for us at my church, Start Right Church in Cleveland Heights. I have a relationship with Deanna Bremer. We're working on projects. So I'm connected with pretty much everybody on the call today. So I didn't plan it that way, but it just worked out that way. And I think about Sarah. She was my first client when I first started at the Urban League. So, so I'm connected with everybody in some way or another. So, and like I said, I am a proud resident of Cleveland Heights for over 25 years.
Tiger Nation.
Tiger Nation all the way. Okay, so Calvin, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Richard.
All right. So tell us about your business and what have certifications done for you?
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me to participate as a panelist. And my company is called Calvin Singleton and Associates, Architects and Planners. I've been in business for over 35 years. And at least only one of those years was outside of Cleveland Heights. My business is located right on Cedar Road between Heights Pizza BOGO and Brennick's Garden Center. I'm an architectural firm. We do projects anywhere from renovations up to brand new. We've joint ventured with other companies as well. And the certifications that I maintain are my state certifications. That, for me, has been the most recognized and the one that tends to resonate whenever you show it to anyone, because they have the status of saying that he's a qualified business. They've investigated my business. They've determined that, yes, I am a minority business. So that answers that question real quick.
Okay. So what advice would you have for small business owners during this time?
Well, during this time, obviously everybody's working remotely and out of their homes. And what I found to be very beneficial is if, as much as the information that you can have about your company, if you can digitize it, make sure that it's easily transferable. I'm finding agencies as well as even municipalities are becoming very receptive to receiving vital documents by email. A lot of my drawings, actually all my drawings, when I submit to the cities for building permits and plan review, that's all electronic now. All my billing is electronic. So That would be one of the first things I would say to try to, with this day and time, not much, some offices aren't even open and they're only receiving it by way of electronics. I do know even with certifications, because though I'm certified, I have to constantly be recertified, whether it's every year or every 3 years. That process is expedited and they are accepting all your information by email. So it does work very well to have that, and that's one of the recommendations I would have.
Right. Thank you so much, Calvin.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah, are you there?
I'm here.
Why don't you tell us about your businesses and your business and what certifications you have?
Sure. So I'm Sarah Bartlett, and I have a business called Mod Network. It's a consultancy focused on organizational development and professional and management training. I've been in Cleveland a long, long time and been in business for 4 years now, but 1 year as an LLC and 1 year full-time in the business. I'm in University Heights and work out of my home, if you can't tell by my slanted height ceiling, and started as an MBAC client, Minority Business Assistance Center client last year. Certifications, federally, I'm a women-owned small business. At the state level, I am part of the it's the EDGE program. I always get it wrong. I know Bobby will correct me. The EDGE program, the city level with the city of Cleveland, I am a Cleveland small business in the regional area. I'm a female business enterprise, a small business enterprise, a local producer enterprise, and with the sewer district, I'm a women-owned business and a small business. But all of these certifications I did at the same time in the same workshop all together because so many of the forms overlap. It's very rare. So I did all of those at the same time, and I'm actually preparing to do another set for some different entities this year in the same fashion. I think you asked me a little bit about, or maybe you didn't ask me yet, how do I use my certifications? Do you want me to just—
That was my next question.
So I use my certifications, and I'm new with my certifications. It's only been a year or less for many of them. They're a way for me to connect with buyers. They're a way for me to connect with prime contractors as I'm looking to do more subcontracting work. They're also a way for me to show, as Calvin said, that I'm a real business. Some of these certifications require that you be in business for a certain number of years. And so because I had started as a sole proprietorship and then transferred to an LLC, I was able to show that history of being a business for quite some time. So it really provides me, I think, some access and some ability to be able to show a potential customer or a potential contractor that I've already been vetted, I already have a strong business, and they should consider me to meet some of their goals.
And lastly, what advice do you have for small businesses during this time?
Other than try to get out. I think get outside, not get out of the business. I think that for me, what I have felt is really grounding and really helpful is to keep talking to my network. Keep talking to the people that I know, get out there. And I'm saying getting out there, like virtually get out there. My primary platform that I engage on is LinkedIn. And so I am regularly having meetings, messaging, talking to people, staying in front of people, and regularly posting content. So because my area is management consulting, it's all about content sharing, article writing. And so staying in front of my potential customers and with the clients that I have worked with or I want to work with. So it's a lot of conversations about what's going on, what are they seeing, and that helps inform my next conversation, helps keep me top of mind when they do see an opportunity that comes up. So I'm finding a lot of business support in that way, but also professional opportunities coming my way because I'm staying in front of my network.
That's great. It sounds like you said that, you know, maybe your certification, and Calvin too, is a credential. And I love that word. That's the word that Deanna used. Do you kind of see it that way, that it's a credential?
Absolutely. I think that in a way it shows a certain level of the business, but I think it also, just like a regular credential would, it allows you to do business in certain places that you normally wouldn't be able to do. So let's say either at the state level or federal or even local, there are requirements as far as how much money they need to spend in certain categories. So as a women-owned business or a small business, I have the benefit of being able to respond to potential projects with those classifications, which narrows the pool. And so by already having that credential and thinking about this as a long-term strategy, I definitely view it as a kind of credential and something that helps set me apart.
And Vaughn, much to that point, the old saying, a picture saves 1,000 words. It saves a lot of talking and explaining who you are. I'm a sole proprietor. I've never become an LLC or any other corporation or anything like that. So sometimes when you walk in, obviously they see my skin color and there are automatic assumptions. But when you do recognize and they recognize that you're state certified, it takes you to a little higher level when they start addressing who you are and what you do.
That's great information. Well, Deanna, did you have anything for these two before? I think there might be some questions from the audience.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say is that obviously both Sarah and Calvin work in a business-to-business environment, but I know we have some folks on the call who are consumer businesses, and now I think that you might consider certification as a credential because I think that the general public has woken up to wanting to support small businesses, wanting to support women-owned and minority businesses, and having this type of credential might really help you with your marketing. I know here in Cleveland Heights, we have been looking for ways to support our small businesses, especially our minority businesses during this time. And you know, being able to know who you are and know where you are helps us help you.
I'd agree with that, Deanna. I've had some, so I also offer coaching as a part of my business, and some of my clients are private pay, and they do look at those credentials. And again, I'm calling them credentials. They look at those certifications as a way of assessing, you know, my professionalism and my business stature. So I've gotten that feedback before as well.
Well, thank you. You guys hang around for a couple more minutes. There might be one or two questions that April has. April, has anything come in the chat as far as a question or two for Sarah or Calvin?
I do have a question that came to me to ask for them. And it is, and Sarah or Calvin, you can both answer this. What tools do you think have become available to you post-certification that maybe you would have received otherwise if you did not receive it?
Do you want to go first, Calvin, or do you want me to take
No,
it?
I was actually letting you go first.
Okay. So I think for me, going through the pre-certification workshop itself provided me a lot of information to how certain government entities work. And then getting the ability to meet and talk with those professionals. I mean, like Bobby's on right now, and just being able to have a real conversation with her, for example, to understand a little bit more about like, okay, so now what? And Bobby literally has an email that says, now what? And she sends it to you once you get certified. And I think that that relationship has been very helpful to have someone that I can go to immediately. And that's not something I would have had access to necessarily had I not done the certification. I think also, I'm thinking on the federal side. So I'm not sure if Jane or Karen is going to be speaking today on behalf of the Federal Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, or the PTACs. By meeting with them and having a relationship with them and being a client of them, you get access to daily emails about opportunities, both federally, state, local, that are all tailored to your industry. Again, whether you're B2B or B2C. And I think that that is something that I would not have had access to, and again, provides me a different lens to kind of see what are the opportunities out there, what are people looking for, what is the cycle of projects that are coming out. So I think for me, the certification has provided me a lot of access to information and access to kind of a behind the scenes look and to know where to go, to who to talk to, if that answers the question.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Calvin, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Sure, to add to that, I know when I first started out in practice, a lot of times certifying and all like that, it seems ominous and something that you're like, God, do I want to go through this? And is this something I really want to encounter? But what actually happened is it forced me to actually come into the 21st and 22nd century. I'm already jumping ahead. But the whole notion is that sometimes when you have to go through reevaluating your company, what you do, the types of projects that you're going to go after, there are certain requirements that if you don't have it in your wheelhouse to provide that as a service, you're just losing pace. So for me, it actually enabled me to bring my company up a whole nother level. Thank God for technology. I couldn't do what I do without it. It allows me to compete. The CAD programming that I had to get, you had to put it in place to be competitive. So it really forces you to kind of assess, where are you at in your business life? Where do you want to go? And so once you start looking at that and embrace it, you'll find out that, wow, there's a whole nother world out there for me to jump into. Prime example for me was the fact that, everybody's aware of the Hilton Hotel that went up. Well, I'm a sole proprietor. How do you plug into that type of business or that type of construction? Guess what? My certification, they recognized me. They saw that I had the capabilities of interfacing with the companies, and I was connected to companies in 5 different states. And we were automatically doing work, and here I was reviewing Hilton plans. So it just opens up a whole new world. And, they may not be considered tools per se, but it does give you the ability to just expand your horizons in the type of work that you can do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Calvin and Sarah, for those wonderful answers. I think a lot that we can take from this is networking opportunities and meeting people and getting to work in these different types of businesses is great. So Vaughn, are we ready to move on to the next segment?
Yes, so in the interest of time, I want to kind of move this along a little bit, but I do want to see if Deanna has any final thoughts. And I want to thank our co-host, Future Heights, our panelists, and all the other guests that came along, and of course, all of our attendees from Cleveland Heights. Obviously, we want everybody to stay on the call because there's much more to come. So Deanna, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, again, I want to thank the Small Business Assistance Center for the opportunity today, and thank our panelists for participating. I think it's great to hear your stories. I'm always inspired listening to entrepreneurs. I know these are really tough times right now, and many businesses are pivoting and finding new ways to reach consumers and conduct their businesses, and I find it very inspiring. So thank all of you for being here this morning.
Yeah. I echo that, and I thank everybody for being here, the panelists, Deanna, your team, board members, and whomever else may have joined us. And with that, we're going to segue into Bobby. Bobby, you ready?
Well, I don't know what more I can say to try to talk to folks about why you should get certified. I just need to bring Calvin and Sarah to like everything that I do from now on.
I don't know, Bobby. You go to a lot of places.
All right, Bobby, Bobby, the floor is yours.
All right, so I am going to share my screen and let's get started. So Calvin and Sarah have done a fabulous start of let's talk about why. But let's get to the nuts and bolts about certification. So can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up? Cool. So as mentioned, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Bobby Bell Bartholomew. I'm with the Ohio Department of Administrative Services with the Equal Opportunity Division. Our office gets the privilege to certify businesses such as Calvin and Sarah's into our various certification programs to do business with the state, and quite honestly, to market it beyond state procurement because you can use these certifications in so many ways. So with that being said, let's get started talking about our certification programs. So the very first one we're going to talk about is our VBE, or Veteran Friendly Business Enterprise. So as you would guess by its name, the VBE program is for veterans. It's designed to be ethnicity and gender neutral, and it is for all procurement types. So we're talking goods and services, IT, professional, construction, just everything, right? The different thing about VBE is that unlike a lot of government preference programs, there's not a percentage that state agencies are spending towards, but rather there's an overarching preference to spend with certified businesses. And that is applied by, as a VBE business responds to an invitation to bid or an ITB, they're allowed to quote up to 5% more than a non-certified VBE company and still be eligible to win. And then on RFPs, or requests for proposals, a VBE business is provided up to 5% of the available points on the scoring of that proposal just by being VBE certified. So April is going to send out a copy of this PowerPoint, so don't feel like you need to rush and write down Wayne and David's name and phone numbers. But I did want to give you a couple points of contact. Both gentlemen are very well versed in VBE contracting with the Office of Procurement Services and ODOT. So just some handy resources. As we've heard a lot about this morning, probably our highest profile program is our MBE certification, or Minority Business Enterprise. So this program establishes a 15% set aside for spending for state agencies, boards, and commissions, so that they are supposed to spend 15% of their eligible budget on goods and services with certified MBEs within a sheltered market, or a set-aside fashion. And what that sheltered market means is that you're only competing against other certified MBEs, other similarly situated businesses. So an open market, or I'm sorry, a non-certified business can't compete in that solicitation. The MBE program is an ethnicity or race-based certification, and it is only for goods and services. That can include IT services and professional, but does not include construction. That's not to say we don't certify construction businesses, just that there's not a construction set aside for state procurement. Last fiscal year, the state of Ohio spent collectively $305 million with certified MBEs, but within a set aside way, they spent $259 million. So if you can imagine just what a small percentage of those dollars could do for your business. The third program that we have as Sarah mentioned, is our EDGE program. This is Encouraging Diversity, Growth, and Equity. And this program is designed to be ethnicity and gender neutral. It's for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. So I'm going to go in greater detail as to what the social disadvantage means in a moment, but the distinguishing factors between MBE and EDGE is that EDGE is all procurement categories. It's not just goods and services, but it's goods and services, IT, professional, as well as architecture and engineering. So it does have right now a smaller percentage goal for state agencies, boards, commissions, and state universities, but it's a smaller percentage of a much larger pie. So it's currently set for 5%, but by picking up those construction dollars, those construction capital budgets, last fiscal year, the state of Ohio spent $386 million with certified EDGE businesses. For the ladies online with us this morning, the state does have a new WBE program. We are not quite ready to certify, but we're getting dangerously close. We are in the final stages of implementing our Ohio Administrative Code. So we have a public hearing on our code later this month. And once we get through that process, we'll be able to start certifying WBEs. So things to know about the WBE program. This program is going to be for businesses that are owned and controlled by women. It does not currently, as the Ohio Revised Code was written, it does not have a percentage or goal tied to it as of right now. That may change in the future, we don't know. But for right now, there's no percentage or goal. However, it does have this interesting component to it where it allows for reciprocity agreements with other states. So what that means for women businesses is that we're working to establish reciprocal agreements with states such as Pennsylvania and Kentucky, so that we get those all settled and signed, etc. You'll be able to take your Ohio WBE certification and take it to Pennsylvania and get certified in PA as a WBE using your Ohio WBE, and then compete in PA as a WBE on their set-asides for women. So it's hopefully going to expand your opportunity to other states. So that's really cool that the program has that capability. But like I said, we're not quite able to certify yet. We are thinking it's going to be mid to late fall. And when we do certify, we are going to take all of our MBE and EDGE businesses that meet the program qualifications, and I like to say grandmother rather than grandfather, them into the WBE program so that we have a ready pool already available. Okay. So I think Calvin and Sarah have pretty much covered kind of the what's in it for me, but we'll go through it real quick. You know, obviously there's opportunities, right? And not just state opportunities, but you can use it to market to outside businesses. You know, it is a business to business. You can use it to market to private corporations, but also, you know, we have a lot of not just agencies that use our search engine, but also prime contractors. So getting listed on our website as certified, we get a lot of primes who search our cert list in order to find businesses to reach out to. Vaughn alluded to this morning. There's specific funding with the Ohio Development Services Agency that is specific to certification. So if you get certified, you have access to those bond and loan programs, and your friendly neighborhood MBAC can help you with that process. You know, Deanna mentioned, you know, a lot of businesses, municipalities, etc., are really getting behind the idea of having a strong and really broad supplier program. They're wanting to do business with small, minority, women-owned businesses. So having this certification it does add a level of, I view it kind of like a credential, like Saras had, that you can take to these other businesses or municipalities to market your business, as well as to other certified businesses. You know, what is it that your business can provide to another certified business that they would have a need for? So let's talk about eligibility. I'm going to touch on VBE first because it is completely separate than MBE and EDGE, which is kind of similar. For VBE, obviously it's meant to be a veteran program. So if at least 51% of the business is owned by veterans or persons on active service, that's kind of our core requirement. That's probably the one that we get most often, honestly. Or if you're a corporation and 51% of your board of directors are veterans or on active service, or if you've already gone through the activity of getting certified by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, we can certify you that way. Or this fourth way is if at least 10% of the business's employees are veterans or on active service. And so this fourth eligibility requirement is really kind of cool in that it expands the program to not just help veteran businesses and business owners, but also helps veterans get employed. So, you know, as a business owner, as you are looking at the potential for increasing your workforce, whether that's in your business plan now or, you know, 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, what have you, consider hiring veterans because it would provide you the opportunity to apply for VBE certification and then, you know, employ veterans, which is a great thing, but also take advantage of the VBE program. For MBE and EDGE, these are core requirements for both programs. You do have to be a full-time Ohio resident. We are talking full-time, paying Ohio taxes, not living in Florida in the winter and avoiding Cleveland winters. But you'll also have to be a for-profit. We love the work of nonprofits, we just cannot certify them. And you do have to be in business for 1 year. And I do mean actively in business, not just on paper. Doesn't mean that you have to have had sales, but you do have to be in business. Requisite knowledge of the business and industry and day-to-day control. And you have to be able to demonstrate that you have the capability and expertise to run that business, to really legitimately have control over the operations. If it applies based on the industry, possession of the licenses should be in the owner's name. For MBE, as I said, it is an ethnicity-based certification program. So you really do have to be African American, American Indian, Asian, or Latino, period. If you do not fall within one of those 4 races or ethnicities, you will not get certified for the MBE program. For EDGE, this is the one that I said was for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. So for social disadvantage can be because of race or ethnicity, can also be because of gender, because of a physical or mental disability, or a business owner's long-term residence in an environment isolated from the mainstream of American society. Roughly translated, that means a hub zone. And if you are not familiar with the SBA's hub zones, those are census tracts that the federal government has designated by using census tracts. And these are areas that have high unemployment and low income. So like all of Appalachia is a hub zone, and there's also a lot of areas in major metropolitan areas that are also designated as hub zones. We do have a link on our website that directly links to the SBA's map that you can key in your address, and it'll tell you whether you're in a hub zone or not. The key thing to realize if you use the HubZone reasoning for social disadvantage is that it's not just being in a hub zone. You also have to have 35% of your workforce residing in a hub zone. Not necessarily the same hub zone, but they do have to reside in a hub zone, and we will re-verify that at each time you recertify. And so because this program is for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses, there's that economic component. You have to have a personal net worth of less than $250,000 at the time of application. And we do exclude your primary residence and any interest that you have in the business. Fair market value of all assets should be less than $4 million. Personally speaking, that's like everybody I know, but you know, keep that in mind. So let's talk, how do we get certified? So in essence, the process itself doesn't change. There's variances in timelines though. And I do want to preface this by saying that your MBAC has your back, remember that, is here to help you. I'm going to tell you straight up, guys, the best way to fill out an application is to work with your MBAC on the front side. They can help you go through the supporting documentation checklist, try to ensure that as much as possible, everything on that checklist is there on at the beginning, before you even fill out the application, because quite honestly, if you have all of those documents, it is easy to fill out the online app because you have all of the answers in front of you. And then also, you know, they are there to help you fill in those blanks, you know, whether it's helping you make sure that you have your P&Ls, what have you, they're there to offer support. So in a Buckeye nutshell, this is the process. You have your supporting documentation checklist, all of your materials, and an online application. We get both the online app and the supporting docs. Our officers are going to review them to see, do the answers match? And this is why I say having your documents to fill out your application is a great idea, because obviously then your answers are going to match. We're going to look at those documents to make sure, you know, one, that everything is there, and also, you know, are there any red flags that give us pause? Is there anything that makes us question ownership and control? We will then reach out to schedule either, in pre-COVID times, we would schedule an on-site interview. Right now, we're doing Skype and phone interviews. Based on that, there may be some additional documentation that's required, there may not. The officer will do an analysis and a report to the state EO coordinator recommending either for certification or for denial of certification. If they recommend for certification and the coordinator agrees, you'll get an email that says, congratulations, click here to get your certificate. Yay, everybody's happy. And you then, you know, schedule some time with your local PTAC, as Sarah mentioned, and learn how to contract, and you're on your way. Or conversely, if we determine that, you know, there's something that we don't feel that you meet the program qualifications, we will send you a letter, and in that letter it'll say why you didn't meet program guidelines, we're intending to deny. We'll also give you what the next steps are. You do have the right to appeal that decision with a hearing officer, but that'll all be spelled out in the letter. So that whole process from start to finish on average takes about 60 to 90 days. Now we have 5 officers covering the entire state. That's why it's important to work with your MBAC on the front end, because a lot of the time comes from back and forth. You know, hey, I need this document, and you missed this one, and no, this isn't really what I needed. I need, you know, A, B, and C. So if you work with the MBAC, they've done these applications so often, they know what we need. So they can really help drive that process. Like I said, the process on average takes 60 to 90 days. All of the documents that we ask for go to proving these core requirements: citizenship, residency, whether you've been in business for a year, and whether or not you control it. Now, there is a way to fast track an application. However, these are very isolated, and you do have to go through your MBAC for this. But we do only do this in isolated instances, because otherwise everybody would be asking for a fast track. If you are submitting a bid or a proposal where you have to be certified in order for your bid to be responsive, so you're submitting a bid on an MBE set aside or an EDGE contracting opportunity, or if you have a pending loan or bonding application with DSA's Minority Business Development Division, again, you have to be certified in order to go before their board. The process is the same. You're going to work with the MBAC. They'll help you submit the documents. But we have one officer who works these fast-track applications, and when they come in, he stops everything and just focuses on that application. With that, we can shrink the timeline. It says 3 to 5. It's probably closer to 5 to 7. I think the 3, we've done it a couple times, and like all the stars aligned, and it was a perfect storm, if you will, that we managed to get it down to 3 days. But again, those are very isolated incidences, simply because of staffing. We can't do it for everybody. The third process that we have is called expedited or cross certification. And this is really for those who want quickly into the MBE. This is not available for EDGE. If you think you're going to apply for both, probably better served to apply with a unified application, because you're going to need like 3 documents more to apply for EDGE. But if you want just in for the MBE, and you are already certified with, for example, the City of Cleveland or Cuyahoga County, Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, we have agreements with these municipalities or with these organizations where we will honor their certifications. You fill out a cross certification form on the Ohio Business Gateway, give us a copy of your current certificate. We'll reach out to the other certifying agency. They'll give us a letter of good standing, and we will issue a certification based on their recommendation. These reciprocity agreements do work in reverse as well, except for with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. If you get certified with the state and then find that you need City of Cleveland certification or Cuyahoga County certification because of a specific contract and how it's funded, and you have to be certified within their programs, you can take our certification, apply with them, give them a copy of your cert with us, and they'll reach out to us and they'll issue a certification with their programs as well. We are here to help. And this is our contact information. As I said, April's going to give you this slide deck, so don't feel like you need to rush and write it down real quick. And there's also a bonus slideshow on the back end of this that you will get that talks about how to find some procurement opportunities. So just a little bonus opportunity for you to go ahead and figure out where to find some state procurement opportunities. And that is all I have. If we have some questions, whoops, wrong way. April, what do we got?
Thank you, Robbie. We do have a couple questions in the chat box. Where can I find qualifications necessary for WBE?
So right now, my WBE website page is kind of hidden because we're not certifying yet. I built it, but I don't have it posted live yet. But in essence, it's going to be like MBE, except instead of ethnicity, it's going to be gender. So if you go to DAS, here, let me type it in the chat, das.ohio.gov/EOD, and go to business certification, and then MBE. Just flip out women for minority, and it's going to be the same thing. But we will be posting the WBE website as soon as they activate my shortcut, which should be wbe.ohio.gov, but I haven't got news that that's activated yet. So I've been pestering IT for like the last month.
On that website also, will there be a list of states that the Ohio WBE will be compatible with?
Yes, absolutely. And we are, you know, we just had a meeting last Thursday with Kentucky. So we're actively trying to get these reciprocity agreements in place before we're able to certify, so that when we go live with the program, we've got some reciprocity agreements already in place so that you can, you know, take your certification immediately over to these other states.
Perfect. We have a question. My son, who is 15, can he be certified? He owns his own business.
We don't have an age limit on the program. So if he has all the documentation and can verify that he runs the business, then and fits within the program guidelines, I mean, without seeing specifically about his business, I would say, yeah, probably.
Bobby,
Awesome.
if I could chime in just real quickly, it might be a challenge for that individual to open up a business bank account, some other things like that, because they're still a minor. So they may need to open up a joint account in that particular case, as long as they are the ones that are in control of the company's finances.
Yeah, so it is going to be a matter of, are they actually in control?
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be able to document that control.
Yeah.
So depending upon, you know, if that's able to be documented. So work with your MBAC and they can help you make sure that that's documented in such a way that hopefully, yes.
Okay, I don't see any more questions in the chat box. And for the, and just to make sure that we can stick to time, if we have any more questions for Bobby, you'll have her contact information. You'll be able to ask her when I send it to you. Thank you so much, Bobby, for being with us today.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome.
Bobby.
Okay, everybody, we have our next presenter here. He's from the Northeast Ohio Sewer District. His name is Brandon Laster. Are you here, Brandon?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. We're ready for you.
Okay, I'm ready to start. I'm going to jump right in, okay? I'm going to share my screen here.
So, you're looking for opportunities with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, huh? No problem. All you need is the ticket. What's that? How do you get the ticket? Well, listen up and I'll tell you all about it. Let's start with an introduction to the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. It's a public utility serving most of Cuyahoga County and a portion of Summit County. We take wastewater. Oh, I don't feel so good. Pump it through the treatment plant clean it up, and place it back into the lake as nice, clean water. I hereby certify this water as clean. Also, we make sure stormwater flows back into the lake. That's it. Simple. This is a huge job, and it takes all kinds of products, services, and people to make it happen. That's where your company comes in. To keep the water flowing, the district employs many people doing many jobs and procures a bunch of materials and services. And that's why we're here, to talk about how the district purchases these items and how you, as a minority-owned, woman-owned, or small business enterprise, can benefit by joining us in keeping the Great Lake great. Here's how you get started. First, register as a vendor with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. As a company owner, you will provide the district with basic information so the district knows who you are and the products or services your company provides. Then, the district places your company in the pool and your company becomes eligible to participate in the procurement and bidding process. The district's procurement items are priced under $50,000 and bid projects are $50,000 and above. Now here's how you get your ticket. The Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District contributes to the economic health and vitality of the region. Part of that effort is to provide procurement opportunities to companies certified through our Business Opportunity Program. This program increases contracting opportunities for certified minority-owned, women-owned, and small business enterprises. And when this pool of companies grows, the competitive bidding process of the district is strengthened. Why should your company be certified? By the time your company is certified, your firm will receive increased contracting opportunities. The districts will reach out to your company for goods and services under $50,000. And prime contractors must use certified subcontractors for district projects. Interested? I thought you would be. If you have questions, call the Business Opportunity Program or drop an email. Just think, after you're certified, the ticket to opportunities will be yours.
Okay, so the first place you want to start for your certification with the sewer district is our website, which is neorsd.org. And from that homepage, you want to go to business, doing business with us, and register as a new vendor, iSupplier login. This is something that everybody that does business with the sewer district has to do. You have to register as a vendor. You have to be in our registered vendor database in order to do any type of business with the sewer district. And so that's the first thing I recommend you do. And you can do that right from our homepage there. When we do our certification workshop later on in the month, I'll go into a lot more detail about this. But that's the first thing I recommend anybody that's interested in doing business with the sewer district do, and that's to register as a vendor. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the qualifications for our MBE, WBE, and SBE certification. So if you're already certified with any of the following agencies on the screen here, City of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, OMSDC, that makes you eligible for our easy application. And so you have to have your certification in hand for these organizations in order to qualify for the easy application. You cannot just have applied for certification with City of Cleveland. You actually have to have applied and been approved through the system to gain access to our easy application. And the easy application is just a shortened application. It allows us to import some of the documents and information that you entered for these certifications. It allows us to import that information automatically through our system. So it's really just an abbreviated application. And it also eliminates the need for me to conduct a site visit, because presumably you've already had a site visit with one of the following agencies on the screen there. Certification requirements. To be certified with us, you have to have a physical address within our 12-county footprint. 12-county footprint is listed on the screen there: Ashtabula, Carroll, Cuyahoga, Geauga, Lake, Lorain, Mahoning, Medina, Portage, Stark, Summit, or Trumbull counties. If your business is located outside of our 12-county footprint, you can still get certified with us, but you have to open an office within our 12-county footprint, like some sort of a satellite office, or you have to have a physical business address within our 12-county footprint in order to be qualified for our certification. No P.O. boxes allowed. That's only for, now you can have a P.O. box as your mailing address. You just cannot have a P.O. box for your business address, okay? You also have to fall within our NAC size standards. The numbers here on the screen, the dollar amounts on the screen, are based on a 5-year average of your gross annual revenue. So if you are a waste management company and your gross annual receipts over a 5-year period average less than $6.2 million, you're eligible for certification. If it's over the 6.25 million, you are ineligible for certification. You're too big. And again, these numbers reflect a 5-year average. So that's one of the reasons why we ask for 5 years of tax returns on the application. When you enter that information, the system will automatically present an average over the 5 years. And that way you'll know if you're eligible for certification. Document checklist. Every firm applying for SBE, WBE, and MBE certification has to prove that they're the majority owner or principal. Provide us with any licenses, registrations, or permits required to conduct the business that you're seeking certification in. And a basic equipment list. I'm looking for a list of the equipment that you use to conduct your business in a Word document. So I need the make and model of the equipment and an approximate value of that equipment. A copy of your business insurance certificates, 3 copies of current contracts or invoices. We're one of the few agencies that do not require you to be in business for at least a year before you seek certification. All that we require is 3 invoices and proof that those invoices have been paid. So you could have been in business for a month, and if you have 3 customers and they're paying you, we'll certify you as an MBE, SBE, or WBE for the invoices that you present us with. So they have to be, so if you're trying to seek certification under a certain NAICS code, so go back to the example of waste management, those invoices have to reflect that you did something waste management related. So it can't just be any 3 invoices. It has to be directly related to the NAICS code that you're looking to get certified under. We also need a certificate of good standing from the Secretary of State. This is a very specific document. You have to get this document from the Ohio Secretary of State. It costs $5. When you pay the $5, they'll give you a PDF version that you can upload to the application. Our certification is a biannual certification, so every 2 years, I'm going to need an updated copy of the Certificate of Good Standing from the Secretary of State. This is just a snapshot of the range of opportunities for doing business with the sewer district. We do a lot of construction, we do a lot of landscaping, but that's not the limits of the items that we procure at the sewer district. This is more or less just a snapshot of some of the areas that we were constantly. These are our biggest ones that we have on an annual basis. So as an example, capital improvement plan, we anticipate awarding projects within the next 5 years in the amount of $1.19 billion. In 2019, the sewer district awarded a little more than $27.5 million with minority women-owned and small businesses. That's just 2019. And we anticipate over the next 5 years, we'll be spending in the neighborhood of $1.19 billion. Over the next 3-year period, we anticipate we'll be spending $72.3 million in projects across Northeast Ohio. Just a few examples of the construction services that we look for: asphalt, pavement, photography, masonry. Masonry, we have some very specific masonry needs. We have incinerators that need to be maintained. And if you're familiar with how an incinerator works, it's basically like a giant oven where after so many hours of use, all the bricks have to be knocked out and it has to be resurfaced. And you got to go in there and do that almost like sometimes as much as twice a year. So we're looking for some very specific masonry needs, security needs, metal fabricators. And again, this is just a snapshot of some of the areas that we provide opportunities for at the sewer district. Once you receive your certification, and I'll go into a greater detail about this when we do our certification workshop at the end of the month. I highly encourage that you bookmark our website and check back on a weekly basis for the opportunities. Now, in the video, you heard Wally Waterdrop say that procurement items at the sewer district are $50,000 and below, and bid projects are $50,000 and above. So for procurement items, you'll get contacted directly from the department that needs to procure whatever it is that you're selling. All right. For bid opportunities, we post those on the website. And like I said, at the end of the month, I'll go in greater detail talking about that particular process. But I'm going to show you real quick where on the website. So if you wanted to look at this in between now and the certification workshop, I highly encourage that you do that. So again, we're going to start at the website, which is neorsd.org. And we're going to go to business and then doing business with us. And then you're going to click on bids and proposals, active, closed, and awarded. And it'll bring you to this screen here. And then as you can see at the top of the screen, you have 3 tabs: active, closed, and awarded. Active, meaning that the date of the submission of the bid has not come yet. Closed are bids that are being reviewed internally, and then awarded once we decide who that contract is going to go to. The contract will end up on the awarded tab of the website. But if you start on the active tab and then under actions, click here. If you click there, it'll take you to a complete overview of that project. And it's your job to kind of read through the details of that project and figure out how your company fits into that particular project. Now, we do have minority, small, and women-owned businesses that operate as primes with the sewer district. But primarily, those projects are going to be awarded to prime contractors, and it's your responsibility to articulate to the prime contractor how it is you can help them meet their minority spend goal for that particular project. So before they submit a bid, they have to demonstrate how they're going to spend the 20% that is earmarked for minority, small, and women-owned business. So each contract, there's a 15% spend goal for minority and women-owned business and a 5% spend goal for small business. Every firm that is certified with the Business Opportunity Program is considered a small business. In order to gain the minority or women-owned business, the minority designation is based on your ethnicity, and the women-owned business is based on your gender. Okay, and so we have them separated out because you cannot use one. Let's say you use a woman-owned business, you can't spend the 20% with that one woman-owned business, because technically with the sewer district, they cover all bases. So they're a woman-owned business, they're a minority business, and they're a small business, right? That's not the way it works. You have to use one company to satisfy either the minority or the woman-owned business side of the project, and then you have to use another company to satisfy the small business aspect of the project. And the primes have to include that in their bid packages when they submit it. In fact, it's like one of the first things we check. And the other thing is, you have to be actively certified when they submit that proposal. So it's very important to stay on top of your certification to make sure that it's current. Again, our certification is a biannual certification. We require you that you recertify with us every 2 years. The software will send you an email letting you know that. I usually do it 30 days before you're getting ready to expire. So I'll send you an email saying that, hey, your certification is going to expire next month. Click here to start the recertification process. And it's a shortened application similar to the certification application. When you recertify, we're looking for your updated tax returns. So we're going to need the past 2 years of tax returns. We're going to need an updated certificate of good standing. And we're also going to need from you an updated affidavit. And all of that is in the application. And all of that stuff we'll cover when we do the certification application workshop at the end of the month. It sounds like a lot, it sounds complicated, and it is, but we have a great team of people that are at the sewer district to help shepherd you through this process. There's my name right there in the middle. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you're working on the application, send me an email or send me a voicemail. I'm usually pretty good about getting right back to you. In fact, I've had about 3 people call me since I was sitting on the Zoom here. I'm gonna have to call them back as soon as we get finished here. But it's a complicated process, and I'm more than happy to help anybody work through this process and get certified with the sewer district. I'll take any questions at this time that there might be.
Okay, let me scroll up here, Brandon, and see if I can find any questions for us. Can it be a home office?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you have a home office, well, here, okay, so if you have a home office, on the application, it's going to ask you for a copy of the lease of your office. If you own your home, we'll need to see a copy of the property taxes or a copy of the deed to your home, or you can give me a copy of your mortgage statement. But it has to have, whatever you give me has to have the address of your home, and it has to match the address that you put on the application.
Does anyone else have any other questions? I don't see any in the chat box. Okay, what if you rent?
Rent?
Does that make a difference?
It does not. Just give me a copy of your lease of the apartment or house or condo that you rent. Again, making sure that the lease is, number one, executed, signed by the renter and the leaser. And the address has to match the address that you have on your application.
If you just started your business and haven't filed your first year of taxes yet, how does that work?
Again, like I said, we don't require you to be in business for a year like other agencies. You'll put 0 for your first year taxes. And I would still need to see at least 3 invoices and 3 proof and some corresponding proof that those invoices have been paid and not pending, or at least give me something that shows if it's a $1,500 invoice, show me that a down payment has been made on that $1,500.
Do we need to register on the site now or after we're certified?
You can register on the site now. In fact, I highly recommend that because that's the one thing people forget after we go through this whole certification process. Once, if you go through the certification process and forget to register as a vendor, it's like you never even went through the certification process because you're not included in that registered vendor database. It's the first thing you need to do. You need to register as a vendor. And it's a short application. There's a young lady that monitors those applications all the time, and she's pretty good about getting a quick turnaround.
Does the sewer district work with IT companies for underground wiring purposes?
Yes. As far as underground wiring purposes, I haven't seen anything like that come through, but we certify IT companies all the time. In fact, we just had a big IT project that took place at the end of 2019.
What about networking installation companies?
Yes, again.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I don't see any, Brandon. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Not at this time. Again, my information is there on the screen. If you need to reach out to me, please don't hesitate. I'm more than willing to work on a one-on-one basis to get you through the certification process. In fact, it really makes my job easier. If you have a question and you're not sure of something, please just shoot me an email and I can answer your question right away, or I can point you in the direction of what you need to do to successfully satisfy that requirement on the application.
And once again, everybody, I will be emailing you a copy of the slide presentations and the contact information from anyone that you're hearing from today. Thank you so much, Brandon, for being here.
No problem, April. Thank you. Always a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Brandon.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brandon.
Bye.
How's everybody?
Oh, did someone say something?
We're good. April,
Cool.
what's up? What's up next?
Okay, so right now we're going to have just a short little break. At 12, we are going to have Nora Singleton from the City of Cleveland come on. And then right after her, we will have Terrell Knight from the Minority Supplier Development Council. And then we'll be all done for today. So everyone, you can just stay logged on. You don't need to log out. We're just going to take about a 15-minute break.
All right, we'll see everybody back here about noon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
You're using computer audio. Hello?
Yeah, turn down.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back for part 2 for today. We're going to be getting started here pretty soon.
Hey, Vaughn, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to get back in for about 20 minutes. I got.
I can't hear
Is
you.
it just me? I guess the question is, was it just me or did everybody get bounced?
No, everybody's still been on.
Sorry that you're dealing with some technical difficulties, Ron. This will be recorded though, so anything that you missed, you'll have a copy of the recording.
Okay, great, thanks.
And that goes for anybody who's having any kind of technical issues at all. Don't worry about it because there will be a recording of it.
Richard, I thought you actually grew a beard in the last 10 minutes. When you came back on, it said Richard Brown, and of course there are two.
Yeah.
I helped one more time. My name is, I'm sorry, I'm Jeffrey. I just got on. I was speaking with Richard maybe about 10 minutes ago, and he connected me with his name. But I'm Jeffrey Hall.
How you doing, Jeffrey? Thanks for joining us. Good to have you. We're going to give it a couple minutes and let folks come back on unless they're on and just kind of muted.
We are just going to give it a second for our next presenter to log in here.
We're just waiting for Nora Singleton to log in.
Hello.
Hello, Nora. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
We're great. How are you?
Good, good.
Are you all logged in and ready to go?
I am.
Okay, great. So everybody, welcome back. We have our next presenter here, Nora Singleton from the city of Cleveland. And I'm going to share a screen here in a second, which is her PowerPoint presentation. Can everybody see the screen okay? Awesome. Okay, Nora, whenever you're ready, I have the very first screen up.
Okay, great. So yes, hi everyone. My name is Nora, and I'm happy to talk about certification with the City of Cleveland. And either today or anytime in the future, you're welcome to work through the Urban League or to call our office directly. Our office does 3 functions, and the first is the contract compliance monitoring, business certification, and business development and outreach. Go to the next page. Contract compliance officers, they monitor projects from the start to finish. Due to ordinances that our office enforces, we monitor the projects to make sure that our certified subs are participating on the jobs the way the contract was let out. And there you can see the percentages that are needed on each type of contract. Most often we're dealing with construction. They have a requirement to utilize Cleveland small, minority, and female business enterprises for those 15, 8, and 7%. We monitor those to make sure that that happens. Go to the next screen. The certification program, it's called Cleveland Area Small Business, and businesses can apply to be listed on the registry of certified businesses as whichever type of certification they're applicable for. Contracting departments and prime companies utilize our registry, which is the online database of business, to invite businesses for quotes or for possible subcontracting opportunities. Next page. The business development and outreach, some examples of the things that we do is we have the James H. Walker Turner School of Construction Management, a yearly program. And this year, unfortunately, it was canceled. But it usually starts in the middle of February and it ends in the middle of May. It's a good construction management overview. One of the prerequisites to participate in the class is that the person has a construction company or works in the construction field. We have town hall meetings. We participate in other events with partnering agencies. We share information on through our system about any of the contractor events, any training, any networking opportunities. We try to assist businesses on how to do business with the city. And we have a small contractor rotation program that was just introduced probably 3 months ago, and which I don't have in this packet is a new certification, and it's called Very Small Business. This is a company who earns less than $3 million over a 3-year period. They are a very small business. The small contractor rotation program will utilize the VSB to rotate on city-funded projects under $50,000. And the fields that were selected to start the program were electrical, carpentry, lead abatement, and painting. As we move along and we find how the program is working, we may make a few adjustments and we will add some more specialties. So hopefully that'll help people get an opportunity to show their work. Next page. The system we use is called B2G Now. It stands for Business to Government Now, and the web address that we use to access that is the cleveland.diversitycompliance.com. And that's a picture of the screen, the login page. Next page. The first thing we do when a new applicant is going online to apply is go to the website and click apply. Next step is to create the account, and your username will be your email address, and you'll create a password. Some of the tips are that the system is user-friendly. It will highlight any question that you may miss. Some questions demand an answer if not applicable. So in that case, you can use 0 or not applicable, or if it asks for a date, you could use that day's date, today's date. Not all questions or documents are applicable to every business, but the more information you can provide, the better we can review and approve. Next page. There's 2 ways to attach documents. One is by uploading, the other is by fax. The system would create a cover sheet for each document. It gets faxed to the system and they attach it to your application. When a person is starting their application, there's 5 or 6 pages. I call those the introductory pages, where you're setting up your vendor account, you're creating your account. You'll get through that and you'll end up with the main summary. This is what I call the heart of the application. There are 7 sections that a person would complete, fill in, and once those 7 sections are completed, then you can sign and submit. Certification is good for 1 year. The system would send out a reminder email in about 11 months after approval that it's time to recertify. Next page. We do not certify nonprofit. We do not use a PO box as a physical location. We do not drop ship. There's no ordering from one agency and shipping it straight to your customer. If you're a supplier, you need to have your material in your possession. And out of the contracting market. To be certified in our program, we use a contracting market, which is a geographical space. We can go to the next page. Yeah. And the geographical space for CSB is your headquarters have to be in Cuyahoga County. For minority, female, local, or sustainable business enterprise, the market is expanded and includes the surrounding counties: Cuyahoga, Geauga, Lake Lorraine, Portage, Medina, and Summit. Even if you weren't aware of the market and you submit your application for a Cleveland female business, we would apply any certification type that was applicable. So no need to worry. We want you to be certified. So we're going to make sure that we do the best we can to make your company shine. Next page. The review. Typically, we process the applications in the order they are received. If during the review we have any questions or need additional documents, we'll send you an email through the system. Once you're approved, you'll receive an email stating that, and you'll have instructions on how to retrieve the approval letter and certificate in the system. When companies are approved, they are listed on the registry, which is that online database. Next page. This is a page on the city's website called Doing Business with the City. These are all the links that companies would like to see when doing business with the city. You may see some familiar things here. The second item, there's an open house in purchasing on the first Tuesday of every month. We go down and talk about certification, and purchases talks about how to fill out a bid package or where to find the projects. But also the last 3 links on this list are the jobs, the contracts. There is the RFPs and RFQs. request for proposal, or request for qualifications. The bids over 50,000 and bids under 50,000. So when you're online and you go to this page and you want to see more information, you can select any one of these links to find more. Especially on the contracts, you'll probably find a few layers of information. Some contracts or projects have a pre-bid meeting. And if you can see that, you want to get there so you can network with the prime, pass out your business card, and learn about the specifications of the job. But that's a great page to check out. Go to the next page. Purchases and supplies. We work very closely with them. Both of our offices work with contractors, and we assist in the development and the process of the city bidding and awarding bids. But we have nothing to do with selecting the award. But purchasing, I like to recommend that companies get registered as a vendor. This puts your company's information in the city's financial management system. So it's actually another list that your company could be on to be found for opportunities. Next page. This is our contact information at the office. We're located at City Hall on the 3rd floor. Our main number is there, and I answer that line. So please feel free to call anytime and leave a message if necessary, and I will return your call. My email address is listed here as well. And this is sort of just the general information about becoming certified or doing business with the city. We have another PDF that we're going to show a couple pages of that'll show you the system.
Okay, just hold on one moment and I'm going to stop sharing screen so I can pull up the other information that we need.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I have the PDF up, Nora.
Awesome. This is what we call our certification packet. The cover sheet has, again, some of our basic contact information. It has the different certification types, the Cleveland, minority, female, local, sustainable. There's the storefront renovation, which is a small certification for community development. Again, we have our login page to sign into the system. And it says number 1 is click apply. Number 2 is to create account. And the tips are on the bottom of that cover. You can go to the next page. This is the document that is called certification eligibility, and it talks about the contracting market. So you'll have that. Continue. I'm just going to show the first few pages of the packet because you will receive this. It's actually, next page. It's actually a screenshot of the online application. So this is what you'll see when you go online. And I've put some arrows there to assist you in making the right selections. And so hopefully that'll help you get started and work you through those couple introductory pages until you get to the main summary. When a company is starting the application and they're at the main summary, their information will be saved. So you can log on and off as often as you need to. You can come back and you can toggle back and forth between the sections. As I mentioned, the system will identify any missed questions. So it'll always highlight that for you. We can go to the next page. Again, this is more of the what we call a decision tree. The system's going to direct an applicant in the right way so we can make sure that they're applicable for certification. You can utilize those arrows too. Next page. This page is for a company who's in the system. So the sewer district and the airport have implemented the B2G Now system as well. So you may already be certified, let's say with the sewer district. Therefore, when you sign into the system with your same credentials, your email and password, you'll be able to autofill. So this page allows you to take data from the system and populate it into your new application. So it eases your typing and it allows for you to just edit. But it's a nice tool to make your application process go a little quicker. We can go to the next page. This is a documents preview page, and as the blue arrow points to that paragraph box, it states that you have 90 days to complete your application. Otherwise, the system will delete it. If you needed more time, we could certainly extend it, but typically it doesn't take that long. If you utilize this packet as a workbook, you can print it out and write down your answers and your dates and dollars, get your documents scanned and saved. This packet will make you feel confident when you go online. You'll be able to go right through it. So we check the box and say, we agree, we understand, we have 90 days. Next page. Next page. And this finally is the main summary, and you can see there are the 7 sections in the middle, and it has a red arrow pointing to each section. It says fill in. So when we click on one and we complete the page, the red arrow will turn into a green check mark. Otherwise, if you're missing a question, it may say 13 of 14 complete. And when you go back to fill in that last question, it'll be highlighted for you, so you know which question is empty. But so this is the heart. When you hit this point, your information's saved, so you can log on and off. If you ever had any questions during the process, certainly I would recommend that you can call me first, and I can definitely try to assist you. If we have something more technical, we do have tech support contact. So we're happy to help you with that too. I think it's a pretty user-friendly system, so you can't make any mistakes. There's nothing that we can't help you with or fix.
You gotta come on. I need to cut it.
So that's all I wanted to really share out of this packet today, because you will receive a email copy of it. I just wanted you to get a feel of how the OEO, Office of Equal Opportunity, works and what we do. And here we're talking primarily about certification. So this packet will help you get on the right road to become certified.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Can you come off of it?
Okay, I had to mute someone there. Thank you so much, Nora. Let's go into the chat box and see what questions we have.
Okay.
What does the RFQ include?
Again, I would recommend you go to the Doing Business with the City page and look at it, because it's basically going to have the name of the job, the, let's see, maybe I can find it here really quick. And I can. It's basically like the bid package. You'll go to the meeting, or you can go to purchases and pick up a bid package. It talks about what's the job name, what are the specifications, what's the probable subcontracting requirements. Let's see. Oh, okay, RFP. Okay. Yeah, description, the meeting time, the contracting department, contact email, and then the other documentation. So it's best to look at that. Right now, I believe if you register as a vendor, the purchases department has implemented a new system called e-procurement. And when you activate that account, the system will notify you of jobs in your specialty. So please contact Purchases and Supplies to inquire about registering as a vendor and the e-procurement. At least here, you can find the contracts online and see what you need to see. I would mark this page as a favorite and probably check it every Monday so you can see, or every Wednesday, any day that's convenient for you, but check it until you're sure you're being notified. It's a new system, so this is the, looking at it this way online is the old way.
Does the RFQ require a capability statement?
Not to my knowledge, but you'd have to look at each particular contract that you're looking at. And this is kind of out of my realm. I'm not the purchases agent, so.
Do you have something? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that may be something purchases would answer.
And is there information that I can give to anyone who might be interested in learning more about that?
About RFPs?
Is there a contact information for the purchasing department?
Sure, they have a city webpage and their phone number is 216-664-2620.
Great, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask?
It's quite group.
Okay, we have a couple questions coming in here. Let's see. Do you have to be in business for at least 1 year to apply for the certification?
That is a great question. Yes, we did have that. In 2012, we took it away because we didn't want to hinder anybody that was ready. But we have brought it back. We have not selected a firm date that we're cutting off the 1 year. So right now, if you feel that you're applicable and you can complete the application and you've got a majority of the documents, please apply. We don't want to hurt your business. We want to help your business. But eventually, we probably will have a 6-month waiting period. But right now, we don't.
Thank you so much. See if there's any other questions in here.
One last thing too, I've mentioned the registry, the online database of business. If a company, and I suggest maybe everyone do this today, if you were to go to the login page, cleveland.diversitycompliance.com. On the left side, under login, the left side, there's some columns with some links, and one says, search certified directory. I recommend that people search that directory to see companies like themselves. You'll see their descriptions, their NAIC codes. It has their certification dates, their contact information. When a company is approved, they're listed on the registry. So I will be asking our applicants for a description of their business. Also, we look for NAIC codes, which is a national industry code. It's just good to see what other companies like yourself, how they describe themselves. And you can see who else is out there. You may know some people, or you could probably call them and introduce yourself and offer your services if there's ever a project they may need assistance with. It's a good resource.
Can you repeat that address so I can put it in the chat box, Nora?
Sure. Cleveland.diversitycompliance, one word, clevelandheights.com.
Thank you. Do you do cross certification with the state of Ohio?
Great question. Yes. For MBE only, at this time, because we have restricted office hours, it's a little more difficult to make that happen. But we do. We have MBE only. The state, the sewer district and the Cuyahoga County also have that MBE reciprocal certification. My recommendation, though, is if you're headquartered in our contracting market and you may be a minority business, I would recommend just applying the normal way so that we can apply all the applicable certification types. I would hate for you to do the reciprocal application and receive the MBE only when we could tack on Cleveland, possibly female, and local producer.
From the time that someone applies, how long does it usually take to get certified?
Usually I quote 2 to 3 weeks. If we have any questions that may make the time a little longer because we're waiting on a response, but if everything's there, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks.
Awesome, thank you. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, well, I think, oh, did someone have a question? It's hard to tell with so many people on the call sometimes. Okay, Nora, well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all this great information.
You're welcome, and I hope you do get to send those packets out to the attendees. And
yes.
Thank you for having me, and we look forward to working with everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All righty. Have a
all
great
right,
day.
have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, our last presenter for today is in the process of logging in right now. His name is Terrell Knight. He's from the Minority Supplier Development Council. How are we doing, Terrell? Can you hear me?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we are ready for you whenever you are.
All righty. Let me go ahead and get my presentation pulled up, and I'll share my screen just a moment. All righty. If I can get a thumbs up, if you can see my screen here. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Terrell Knight. I am the MBE Services. Actually, I am the Associate Director of MBE Services with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. I am going to talk to you about how to get certified with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council and tell you all the benefits of being certified with us. First and foremost, the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council is a national network. It was established in 1978, headquartered in New York, New York. There are more than 1,700 national corporate members. There are over 3,500 corporate members throughout the entire network. So what does that mean? The National Minority Supplier Development Council, there are major corporations that pay into the National Council to find minority businesses that they are looking to do business with. So there are over 1,700 corporate members that are national members of the organization, which means they are looking for MBEs on a national level. Now, some corporations may not pay into the national database where they just want to find MBEs that are in a regional space. That means that there are 3,500 corporate members throughout the entire network. So for example, Nationwide Insurance is not a national member. They just pay for the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council membership because they're located right here in the state of Ohio, based out of Columbus, Ohio. So as an MBE, you have access to all of the corporate members, whether they're national or that they are a local corporate member. If you're looking to do business with a corporation and you go to the national website and you happen to notice that they are not listed on the national website, I would do a Google search for where their headquarters is located, and then see if look up the regional council and see if they're members of their regional council within that area of where they're located. There are over 12,000 MBEs in the entire network. And we have 23 regional affiliate councils. Ohio being one of those 23 regional affiliate councils. The president and CEO is Jacqueline Neal. We are an affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. We were established in 1972 as South Central Ohio Minority Business Center or Business Council. In 2014, we merged two councils together. As once upon a time, there was a South Central Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council and a Northern Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. In 2014, we merged both councils together to create the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, which covers the entire state. And it left MBEs and corporate members the opportunity to not have to pay into both councils for membership and certification. There are more than 100 local corporate members of the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council and over 400 certified MBEs in the region. We're headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, and we have an additional office in Cleveland, Ohio, and we recently just started a new office here in Cincinnati, Ohio as well. So some examples of corporate members that are part of our organization here locally will be Eaton Corporation, Rockwell Automation, Cleveland Clinic, Honda, Nationwide Insurance, Procter & Gamble, Marathon Gas, Petroleum Gas, and that's just to name a few. To find a full, complete list of corporations that are part of the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, at the end, I will have our website listed on there. You just want to visit our website where it houses all the rest of the information. So some truth and some myths about the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. So truth is we certify minority-owned businesses to be able to do work with corporations, with Fortune 500 corporations within the state of Ohio and a national minority supplier development council throughout the country. So our certification is a national certification, which means that if you wanted to go do work out of Atlanta with Coca-Cola Company, and you take your certificate from the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, that certification will be granted, and you'll be able to use that for doing business with Coca-Cola out of Atlanta. We develop minority-owned businesses. We develop minority-owned businesses to be able to do work with the National Minority Supplier Development Council, with our major corporations, also with other businesses within our network. It's important that you realize that because you're a small business, you may not be big enough to do work with a major corporation at the time, but there are over 12,000 certified minority businesses in the entire network. We have over 400 certified minority businesses here in the state of Ohio. Each minority business that are part of the network is a potential customer for you. We have minority businesses that are doing over $1 billion in annual revenue. There are major, big minority businesses that are out there that could be a potential customer for you. So don't just look at it from the perspective of you want to do business with just a corporation. You want to look at it from the perspective that you want to do business with other minority businesses that are part of the network as well. So we develop those businesses to be able to do business with corporations and other minority businesses to make you further along and build your capabilities and your capacity. We connect minority businesses to corporations. We are the bridge builder. We're the conduit between corporations and minority businesses. Corporations come to us to find minority businesses. Minority businesses come to us to find corporations. We make strategic and solid connections for the businesses on behalf of the corporation. So that way you'll be able to be successful in your ventures as you pursue opportunities with said corporation or minority business. We advocate on behalf of minority businesses. The Ohio Minority Supply Development Council, the National Minority Supply Development Council, we are 501c3, so we do not do anything political. We don't do any political advocacy, but we do advocate in other corporations that may not have sophisticated supplier diversity programs. We go in those corporations to help build those supplier diversity programs, give them the business case as to why it's important to work with minority-owned businesses, and then let them develop a supplier diversity program that will eventually open up the door for minority businesses to do work with their corporation. Some myths: we do not give out loans. So we do not give out microloans, do any kind of lending. There is no financial exchange with the Ohio Minority Supply Development Council in our minority-owned businesses. And just because you are certified does not mean that you're going to get a contract. And I'll emphasize that one more time. Just because you are certified does not mean you're going to get a contract. You're not guaranteed a contract with your certification. The certification creates access for you to our corporate supplier diversity individuals and other minority businesses within the network. Once you get certified, there's still a lot of work for you to do as far as you getting your business out there, getting your name out there, networking with the right potential customers, and building your business case as to why your business is valuable to a corporation. So we help you do that, all those things along the way after you're certified, but it does not guarantee that you will get or be awarded a contract just because you have your certification. Our corporate members are interested in doing business with your business, but they have to know who you are first. Most corporations like to do business with people that they feel are aligned with their core values and their mission statements. And you want to make sure that you do your homework and your due diligence on what corporations you want to go work with. One of the most disheartening things or painful things you can do for yourself as a business owner is walk up to a corporation and explain to them why you want to do business with them, and then turn around and ask them what they do or what they need. That will put a sour taste in a corporate person's in the corporate mouth, and they won't really want to work with you moving forward. So you want to make sure you do your homework before you make your initial contact, and we'll help you do those things along the way. So don't be shy, don't be nervous about it. But I want you to make sure when you get in front of a corporation that you're fully prepared to do business with them and be able to articulate your business the best way possible.
Terrell, can I chime in on that comment? I think those are some excellent points you made. Can I just add a comment to that?
Absolutely.
You know, it's almost like an interview, like a job interview, where you need to do research on that company. You need to be prepared to answer questions and have questions of your own. Because just like in a regular job interview, many times if you don't know what that company does, but you want to be a part of it, and you're asking them questions about what they do and how long you've been in business and what's your footprint like and all that, those are questions that they think you should already have answers to in your own research. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I've seen this before, and this is why I wanted to chime in here, that it is critical that you do your homework and due diligence on any company before approaching them to do business with them.
Absolutely, it is critical.
Thank you for that. Thanks, Terrell.
No problem. The word critical sticks out the most. It is critical that you do your homework and your due diligence on and before making an approach, or you shoot yourself in the foot before you even begin. So qualifications for certification: you must be a for-profit enterprise. You must be physically located in the United States or trusted territories. Specifically for the Ohio Minority Supply Development Council, you must be located in the state of Ohio. Your headquarters must be located in the state of Ohio. You at least 51% ethnic minority owned. The ethnic minority is a U.S. citizen. The minority owner is active in the management and day-to-day operations of the business. The minority owner is active in the management and day-to-day operations of the business. That is important. Minority ownership and control is real and continuing. I'll say that again, the minority ownership is in control is real and continuing. These are the qualifications for certification. There's no circumventing it. There's no getting around it. If you think you're trying to pull a slick one, we will find out. There's a lot of information and a lot of documentation that is required for the certification process. We do read every letter, every period, every exclamation point that you send to us. So we do find out if the control is not real and continuing. We do find out if the owner is not active in the management and day-to-day operations. Those things will become evident to us along the certification process. So you want to make sure that all your documentation and the application is in alignment with your documentation, because if not, we will definitely find out. And it will eliminate you from the certification process. These, like I said, this is the criteria, this is the qualifications, there's no getting around it. And you must have these things established before you come to us to get certified. Certification process. You want to complete the pre-certification qualification. It's on our website, the app, along with the online application. Our website is just here at www.ohiomsdc.org. You download the affidavit, you get it signed. The affidavit right now does require you to get it notarized. It will say that on there, but because we are in the COVID-19 environment, you do not have to get the affidavit notarized, but it must be signed by all owners. And then you will upload the affidavit back to the application, to the system, so it can be included with your application. And you will upload all of your supporting documentation. And documentation is based upon your business structure. So if you're an LLC, a sole proprietorship, or a corporation, you will have different set of documentation that is required for you to upload to the system. And it will outline those documents for you as you go through the application process. You will pay the application fee. Then once you submit the application, you will be redirected to pay the application fee. I will go over the fee chart here in just a moment. After that, after you've completed the application, you've submitted the fee, that is the end for you as far as your online process goes. I will then take, myself or someone from our team will then take your application, will review the application, will review all of your supporting documents, and if everything is in line with and ready to move forward in the certification process, we will reach out to you and ask you to do an on-site visit. We will schedule the on-site visit with you. Just so you know, because we are in the COVID-19 environment, on-site visits are done virtually at the moment, but we will follow up after the coronavirus pandemic has ended with you and do a physical on-site visit. The on-site visit takes about an hour to complete. There is a whole host of questions that we ask in the on-site visit. And basically, we're just verifying everything from the application and supporting documents and the interview with you to go ahead and keep you moving along the certification process. After the on-site visit, the team will then come back to the office and write a certification report. We will submit that report to the certification committee. The committee comprises of about 7 corporate members. So this is your first introduction to the corporate space. As a minority business seeking certification, we will review your application, we'll review the supporting documents together, and we review the on-site summary together. And based upon our findings and our discussion, we will, I make a recommendation to either approve or deny, then the certification committee then takes that recommendation, reviews the application, and takes the recommendation to approve or deny and passes that recommendation to the board of directors. The board of directors will then meet. The board of directors comprises of 23 corporations and minority businesses. We will review your on-site summary once again, go over all the details of your business, and the board of directors will make the final recommendation to approve or deny your certification. After the board of directors makes the final recommendation to approve or deny your certification, I or someone from the team will then notify you of your status of certification and either send you a certificate or send you a denial letter. If you are denied for certification, you have 30 days to submit an appeal as to why you believe you should be certified for minority-owned business certification with NMSDC. If you are approved for certification, you will be sent a certificate and a welcome packet, which will have the next steps as far as what you want to do now that you are certified as a minority business. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if you are denied certification and you went through the appeal process and you still are denied, you have to wait 1 full calendar year before you can reapply for certification. You'll be denied based upon the criteria that we outlined earlier on in the presentation. So like I said, you want to make sure that you have all of your information correct and accurate before you submit, and that your business is established as 51% minority-led, owned, and operated. The certification process can take 60 to 90 days to complete. The certification committee only meets once a month, and the board of directors only meet once a month. So what does that mean? So if you were to have your on-site visit and we met the day after the certification committee met, that means you won't be able to get in front of the certification committee until the following month. So you have to wait that whole next 30 days before your application is up for review. Same thing goes with the board of directors. You have to go through the certification committee meeting and you have to go through the board of directors meeting. There's no circumventing it. There's no getting around it. Now, we do have the option for you to expedite your certification with an additional fee attached to it. If you are looking to get certified within 30 business days, you can get your certification expedited. But in order to qualify for expedited certification, you must be 100% minority owned and operated. Fees for certification. So class 1 is less than annual revenue less than $1 million. Your initial fee for certification is $300. Class 2, $1 million to $9.9 million is $550. Class 3, $10 million to $49.9 million is $850. And class 4, where everybody wants to be, bringing in over $50 million in annual revenue, is $950 for initial certification. Now, certification with Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, the National Minority Supplier Development Council, only lasts for 1 year. After 1 year of certification, you must recertify. If you recertify your business with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, the recertification fee is outlined for you there, and you will have to recertify your business annually. One other thing that I want to mention to you, if your business is located in the city of Cleveland, or one of the surrounding suburbs, your certification, you have an opportunity to receive certification free of charge through a grant that we receive through the Business Growth Collaborative. I'll say that one more time. If your business is physically located in the city of Cleveland or the surrounding suburbs of Cleveland, you have an opportunity to receive free certification for your initial certification for 1 year through a grant that we receive through the Business Growth Collaborative. That grant is first come, first serve. We are started out with 17 slots. I believe we have about 11 slots available still. In order to get that grant, you must complete the application, upload your supporting documents, shoot me over an email right before you submit your application to let me know that you're interested in receiving the free certification. I will check my numbers and make sure that we still have space available. If we do, I then will submit your application for you on the back end to circumvent you having to pay for a certification for the first round. It is first come, first serve. We do these certification workshops every month. People are in the pipeline. People are online filling out the application as we speak. So if you are interested in being certified and working with corporations, and this is something that is highly interested to you, you want to go ahead and begin the application process, get things rolling, and get your application ready to submit ASAP. This grant only lasts for 1 year. And like I said, there are other MBEs that are out there right now filling out the application. It's first come, first serve, so you want to move on in as quick as possible. So before I move on to the documentation piece, I want to give everybody an opportunity to ask a few questions before we go there. So if you want to go ahead and type in the chat box or unmute yourself to shout out a question. No questions? That's good. Okay.
What is your email?
Okay, I'll pull that up for you in just a moment. So documentation, a couple of documents. These are just a couple of documents. These are not the whole list of the documents that I have listed here. But these are a few documents that I find that a lot of businesses have a difficult time completing or getting submitted correctly to the system. The first one is proof of ethnicity. The only document that we can accept for proof of ethnicity is your birth certificate. Most people, especially if you're born after a certain time, I think after 1968, your ethnicity is not listed on your birth certificate. So in that case, if you look at your birth certificate and your ethnicity is not listed on there, we would then need a copy of one of your parents' birth certificate. If one of your parents' birth certificate does not have their ethnicity listed on there, then we need a copy of one of your grandparents' birth certificate and or death certificate. So it could be a little bit of a challenge to get those documents and find that information, but it is required for certification. So I want to let you know that ahead of time. So as you're going through the certification process, you want to look at your birth certificate and see if your documentation and if your ethnicity is listed on there. Like I said, if it is not, you want to look at your parents' birth certificate. If it's not on your parents' birth certificate, but you want to look at your grandparents' birth certificate and or death certificate. If your parents are no longer with us, you can submit their death certificate as well. But we need an official document from that has your ethnicity listed on there.
Terrell, I can jump in here real quick on the birth
Sure.
certificate piece. I had a conversation a while ago with the Department of Vital Statistics, and the clerk that I spoke with mentioned that if you order a copy of your birth certificate and you want your race on the birth certificate, you are to order it using the books, BOOKS. And if you say that word, that lets them know to put your race on your birth certificate. So again, like the last workshop we had, if anybody has gone through that and they can verify that, please share that with us at the next workshop. But you want a books copy of your birth certificate. Thanks, Terrell.
BOOKS, books copy. The next document that gets kind of tricky, signed financials. The certification process is going to ask you to submit a balance sheet, a statement of cash flows, and a profit and loss statement. Each page of those financial documents must be signed by the owner, signed and dated by the owner. The financials, like I said, was the balance sheet, statement of cash flows, and a profit and loss statement. If you do not have all three of those, that's no worries. Just work with the Minority Business Assistance Center. They will help you get those financial documents in order, so that way you'll be able to submit your application for certification. Taxes. The application process requires that you submit 2 years of tax returns. You will have to submit 2 years of business tax returns if you've been in business for 2 years. If you have not been in business for 2 years, no worries. You will just submit 2 years of personal tax returns. If the only business has been in business for 1 year, you will submit 1 year of business tax returns and 1 year personal tax returns. Tax returns that are acceptable right now are years 2019 and 2018. If you have not filed for your 2019 taxes, make sure you file for an extension and you contact your accountant right away, because we are past the tax date. If you did file for an extension, just upload your 2017, 2018 taxes along with their extension paperwork. But the only tax documents that we're accepting right now are taxes from 2018 and 2019. Business or personal tax returns, depending on how long you've been in business. Operating agreement. You must have an operating agreement for certification. If you do not have an operating agreement, I suggest you do a Google search for operating agreement for a single member LLC. If you're a corporation, if you're structured as a corporation, it'll be called corporate bylaws. I suggest you do a Google search for that. There are free templates out there that will literally walk you through filling out and completing an operating agreement or corporate bylaws. Like I said, the word free. You just want to go ahead and Google and be very specific in your Google search, free operating agreement for a single member LLC or for a multi-member LLC, depending on how your business is structured. Google that. There are free templates out there that will help you put together an operating agreement Once you've gone through filling out the operating agreement through the online system, you want to make sure you read back over it and that it does make sense, because the operating agreement is very, very important for certification. I've seen a lot of businesses get turned down for certification based upon what they put in their operating agreement. So you want to make sure that you're filling out an operating agreement and you're reading it thoroughly through, and make sure that everything that it states in the operating agreement is actually fact and true as it pertains to your business. Lastly, is the documentation phase is going to ask you to upload a resume. Your resume must have the current business getting certified, seeking certification listed on there, along with your duties that you perform within the business. So I know a lot of you as entrepreneurs haven't had to fill out a resume in a long time. With the certification process, you're going to have to complete and update your resume. So go ahead and dust that thing off, find it wherever it is, and update that resume and upload it to the system. Once again, the resume must have the business seeking certification listed on there, along with the duties that you perform within the business. Those are a few of the documents that get people hooked up. The rest of the documents that are listed on the website as you go through the process are pretty simple and straightforward. But if you have any questions about the documents, just feel free to reach out to me and or someone at the council, and we'll be more than helpful in providing information and clarity to you. That is the end of my presentation. I can open the floor for questions. Here is my contact information. The best way to get in contact with me right now is probably via email, because we are working virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So email is the quickest and best way to get in contact with me. Like I say, if you are looking to get that free certification, you want to get that document, get that application and your documents uploaded to the application as quickly as possible, and then shoot me over an email, let me know that that's what you're looking to do, and I will go ahead and submit the application for you on the back end. At this moment, I'll open up the floor to questions if there are any. Pull up the chat box here.
Can I just, what is the difference between MBAC and your organization?
Great question. MBAC is MBAC is established to help minority businesses grow and to do this. And they also provide technical assistance to minority-owned businesses. They provide assistance with getting your state certification with the state of Ohio. Our organization, the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, we offer certification for the national certification on the public sector side, and we do minority business development and technical assistance as well. So while we are different, we are aligned in the same in many ways, but we are different because my certification, our organization is more geared towards the private sector and helping minority businesses out in achieving contracts and making connections in the private sector. And MBAC is kind of doing the same thing on the opposite side for the public sector. Anybody from MBAC want to go ahead and jump in and add a little?
Yeah, Terrell, I'll jump in. Thank you for that. You did it. That was a great overview. The other thing I would add to that is the Minority Business Assistance Center is an extension of an agency from the state of Ohio. We are a state-funded agency, and the services that we provide to you are at no cost because the state pays us to work with you as business advisors. And that's one of the other major differences between us and Terrell's group.
And I imagine that, Terrell, your group has an associated cost.
Yes, so the cost is right there, $300 for your initial certification. But like I said, if your business is located in the city of Cleveland or the surrounding suburbs, your initial certification does not, you can get that for free. So it does not have a cost for you through the grant that we received through the Business Growth Collaborative.
Oh, okay.
And I'll add on to that, if I may. I don't look at that as a cost. That is an investment in your business because the certification is extremely valuable and critical. And for $300 or whatever that cost is, to me, that's nominal for the credential that you have that could potentially expand your business and open up additional doors for you. It's like any other investment that you make in your business, and this might be the biggest one.
Okay, I understand. I saw that earlier and it just, I'm getting zoned out. I mean, zoomed out, I guess. Just one more piece, and I would like a response from both. I'm in a media-based business, and I don't see a lot of information about getting people to advertise through a media-based entity. Can you give me some feedback on that?
Media-based. When you say media-based, are you doing like for media, like production? Are you doing?
We're doing all of it, but the bread and butter is print media and video media.
Sure. So it's definitely, as far as print media goes, there are opportunities out there for minority businesses. I throughout the calendar year, I've received different requests from corporations to work with minority businesses for printing and advertising opportunities. As far as visual audio media, those opportunities are very few, far in between, but they do happen. You would have to just get a little bit creative in your approach. We're working with corporations, and like I said, there's other opportunities that are available to you with working with other minority-owned businesses. I think that is where you find your sweet spot at, because a lot of minority-owned businesses are not as sophisticated as a corporation, where they would need help with print media, they would need help with advertising, and would need help with all those other things that come along with that industry. So I would charge you to invest majority of your time trying to get to know all the other peers a part of their network, while building your network with corporations at the same time.
And I'll add too that literally today, while we were on this workshop, I received an email from a client that is a media company, and their MBE certification just came through today.
All right, thank you, and that's encouraging. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions out there?
Yeah, Terrell, this is Richard. Can you speak to the cross certification piece as far as being certified with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council?
Sure. So with most of the certifications that you all learned about today, if you are certified, if you come to the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, go through our certification process and actually get awarded certification with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, and you were to go to, let's say, for example, the state of Ohio, and say, now you're ready to take on that certification. That certification will be streamlined for you, and you do not have to go through the whole entire process, because you've actually completed the certification process with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. Same thing works for the county, same thing works for the sewer district, same thing works for the city of Cleveland. So our certification is the gold standard in certification. Now, one thing about that though, is it does not work in the reverse. If you are certified with the city of Cleveland and you came to the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council to get certified, then you will still have to go through the entire certification process. Reason being is that our certification is a little bit more thorough as you go through the certification process. For example, the whole birth certificate thing. A lot of other certifications don't require you to have that birth certificate, or they just give you an affidavit to select and state that you are, in fact, an ethnic minority. With us, you cannot use the affidavit. So we have certain documents that are required that are not required from the other organizations, which makes it why you cannot take their certification and come to us. But if you get our certification and you go to those organizations that you learned about today prior to me, you will then be able to streamline your certification process and get that certification at a much more rapid rate, because you've already been through the certification process with us.
Thank you, Terrell. And also, you mentioned about the resume. Can you speak to that just a little bit more? You said that you need to update your resume and include what information specifically?
You want to include the business that is seeking certification on there, and along with the duties that you perform as the president and CEO of the organization. You want to list those duties out on the resume. So you want to update your resume with the most accurate and up-to-date information. but you want to list the business that is seeking certification. So if you submit your resume and I look at your resume and it does not have anything about the business that you're trying to get certified on there, I'm going to have to send it back to you. So you want to make sure that you have the business seeking certification listed on there along with your along with your duties that you perform within the business listed on there. And this is your personal resume, not your business resume, but your personal resume, because what we're looking for here is business expertise and how did you get the expertise to begin the business.
All right. Thank you again, Terrell.
No problem. There are no other questions. Once again, just please reach out to me if you have questions and you want to take them offline. Like I said, that free certification is first come, first serve. So there are plenty of people right now in the pipeline gearing up to get that certification, but you can get ahead of them if you just complete the application, go to our website, ohiomsdc.org, download the application, not download, but click on the link and begin to register your business and fill out the application, upload your supporting documents, shoot me over that email saying that you're interested in the free certification. This certification, the free certification is for the remainder of the calendar year. There are only 11 slots available. So if you're interested, act fast. Thank you all so much, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you to the Minority Business Assistance Center for having me. It's always a pleasure working alongside you all. I look forward to what's to come next.
Thanks, Terrell. We love having you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Terrell. All right. Thanks for that great information. So this concludes our workshop for today, and we want to thank all of our presenters. We want to thank all of our attendees for staying there with us. And we hope you got good information on today, and it's going to help you move forward with your certifications. And as Vaughn had said recently, that we are state funded with the state of Ohio, so we can assist you with that state certification with the state of Ohio. We will help you with the checklist that Bobby spoke about earlier. So you can just reach out to us, reach out to April, and she'll connect you with us. If you need our assistance, that's what we're here for. And moving forward, all the different presenters today, their information will be mailed out to you. So you will get the copy of their presentations on today. It has been recorded, so the video will be available as well. And coming up later at the end of this month, the last weekend in this month, we have our certification lab, which a couple of our presenters had alluded to. So that's when they walk you through the online process with completing their application. Today was our pre-certification workshop. And at the end of the month, we have our pre-certification lab web series, and we spread it out over 3 days. So be on the lookout for that. April's going to send you the link to that as well. And we just want to thank you for your time and participation on today. And again, like I said, we are here to assist you. We are the Minority Business Assistance Center. We are here to assist you anywhere you are in your business. And just use us. We are, the services that we offer, there's no charge. So we just want to thank you and hope you have a great rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you at the end of the month for our certification lab.
I just want to add one final thing to that, Richard. Thank you so much. I wanted to, again, thank the good folks at Future Heights Community Development Corporation for joining us earlier, and all the attendees that joined us from the Cleveland Heights and University Heights areas. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.